to our defence of Ukraine. Thank you very much. Mark, I'm going to ask you to call your question.
Yes, I believe that Reuters will ask me a question. If I'm wrong.
Hi there.
Yes, it works.
Alistair Smout from Reuters. Secretary General, after your talks in Washington this week, what's your impression of the chance that the US will give Tomahawks in the end, or is it time for other countries to step up? To Prime Minister Starmer, why hasn't Britain signed up to NATO's Pearl scheme to buy US weapons to give to Ukraine? Is it because the Ministry of Defence is running out of money? And to President Zelenskyy, I know you said that you wanted everyone to move together on long-range missiles, but while you convinced President Trump to give Tomahawks, would you like European countries and Britain to do more on long-range missiles? Thank you.
Well, on your first question, when this came up in my meetings on Wednesday in the White House, I also said that it's up to each ally to decide which type of weapons they want to deliver to Ukraine. And that's really a decision by each of the individual allies. And I've also said this before, and this is not new, that Ukraine has the right, obviously, to defend itself, particularly, of course, against all the attacks by Russia. And that includes striking targets in Russia with long-range weapons. Now, when it comes to the US, let's not forget, the US is providing, as we speak, a wide range of weapons to Ukraine, including high-end weaponry like Patriot systems, HIMARS and ATACMS. What happened since July? There was a risk that somehow maybe that flow of weaponry from the US into Ukraine would somehow become a little bit smaller, that flow. But luckily, in July, the President decided, President Trump, to really open the floodgates again when it comes to lethal and non-lethal weapons into Ukraine. Crucial stuff which only the US can provide. For example, interceptors for Patriot systems, defending innocent civilians in Ukraine and protecting crucial civilian infrastructure in Ukraine. And what NATO has done with our allies, we organized the whole thing because the US said we are going to provide it but paid for by allies. So we have bundled that together. The Netherlands was so kind, maybe because I'm from the Netherlands, but they were so kind to immediately buy the first package, and then others have followed. So billions have now been committed, and the stuff is now flowing into Ukraine. Crucial gear again, which only the US at the moment can provide, because it is never, it's not in the stockpiles of Europe or wherever. So that's happening now, and we are working very hard to make sure that that flow will continue to the tune of about $1 billion or a little bit over $1 billion a month. And then on particularly the Tomahawks, of course, the President and I discussed that. The issue remains under review by the President, and again, it's up to the US to decide.
Look, in relation to the UK's position, our support for Ukraine is very clear, and it's been there from the start. And we've made a huge contribution, whether that's financial or in particular on sanctions, the work we're doing there to bear down the example I've given of what we've done just this week. Also on capability, whether that's drone co-production, which we're working on at the moment, or long range, and many other aspects of capability. And in the liaison work that we have operating with our Ukrainian colleagues. So we're very clear about the support that we're putting in. And the reason for that is not just because this is about Ukraine's freedom and sovereignty, but because it's about the freedom that we all have across Europe. This is, of course, a fight for Ukraine's future and sovereignty, but it's also a fight for Europe and for the United Kingdom. And therefore, this isn't simply an act of us working with Ukraine solely for Ukrainian benefit. We are working with Ukraine for Ukraine, of course, but also for the benefit of all the rest of us. Thank you very much. Mette, can I come to you?
I don't have any.
You don't? Okay, great. It's a good thing Beth didn't know that to start with, otherwise she'd have definitely had another question. Dick, can I come to you first?
Yes, and the question is going to be a surprise, that's I'm sure. AMP, or in good Dutch.
Sorry, I thought it was to reply on what you were asked for. No.
My apologies, Mette.
Sorry, of course. Danmarks Radio. Yeah. No. I thought you wanted Me to reply on questions for you.
I'm so sorry, Matt.
Danmarks Radio.
Yeah, apologies.
But also for you, Prime Minister Starmer. You say you want to take Russian oil and gas off the global market to put pressure on Putin. But since the beginning of the war, the EU countries alone have bought Russian energy worth more than 215 billion euros. Doesn't this proposal come 3.5 years too late? And also for you, President Zelensky, what do you think? Do you think this comes too late?
Mette, do you want?
Does it come too late? Yes, it does. But it doesn't mean that we haven't done anything through this war. Also, when it comes to Russian oil and gas, we have reduced our dependencies a lot. But of course, all what we want to do is to ensure that Russia's economy is weakened, and that we put Ukraine in a strong position as possible. So I'm happy about the sanctions. I'm happy about the decisions we made only a few days ago to get totally out of Russian oil and gas. That was a very important decision. And now we simply have to continue. And I'm very pleased that for the first time we have a combined pressure on Russia between UK, between the European Union, and between US. So I think right now we are taking the right decisions. But of course, I would have hoped that Europe would have said goodbye to Russian oil and gas already years ago.
Thanks so much. Better now than never. So we are very thankful to partners, to Europe and to the United States, with sanctions on Russian energy sector. What about us? We began to fight against Russian energy with our sanctions. It was long range. We could do only this. So, but now it's great that we can use such instrument like sanctions. Thank you.
Just picking up on this. Look, I think it's important when we say we want to take oil and gas off the market, that we're describing an end of a process, not the beginning of a process. So this isn't the first time the coalition are willing, the EU and others have come together to take action. It's where we're getting, I hope, towards the end of the process where we will take it off the market. And therefore there's been months and years of our work actually on this. And I think it is really important that we continue to bear down. There are some countries which, in my view, should be moving a lot more quickly in relation to this. And obviously, that's a point that we make on a regular basis. But this is a description of what I hope will be the end of the process, not the beginning of the process. Thank you very much. And Dick, can I ask you to...
Yeah, I try once again. Yes.
It's still the same person.
Yeah, it's still the same person. Lucky for me. Yes.
To Prime Minister Schoof, President Zelensky is very clearly asking for more military support, specifically long range. He hasn't been able to get that this week. The Dutch government considers itself to be a frontrunner in supporting Ukraine. Why is it so difficult to significantly increase this kind of support? And President Zelensky, do you need allies like the Netherlands to increase their support? And has this week been disappointing to you?
Well, thank you for the question. And I think it's, as you said, we are front runner for a long time. And I think that's very important. It's something that the Prime Minister of UK just mentioned as well. I mean, we do this because we absolutely believe, of course, that we have to support Ukraine and the Ukrainian people in their fight against the aggression war of Russia. But at the same time, it's so important to support, and we must never forget, that it's also about freedom and security in Europe, and therefore also for the Netherlands. And I want to underline that again, once again, because sometimes people forget. So it's not a war far away, it's a war close by.
Yeah.
Having said so, I think we do everything we can to support Ukraine, whatever it takes. And that also in relation to long-range weapons, even the Dutch Parliament did agree actually, in favor in a motion in the Dutch Parliament. So I feel very comfortable in trying to work together with Volodymyr and the countries, wherever they are, that want to help, and to make sure that we do everything we can. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And first of all, really, we are thankful to the Netherlands, one of the biggest donators in Europe and in the world. It's true. I think this year you donated more than 4 billion. Yes, it's a big amount, really. I understand that it's not simple, yes, for any kind of country, but really we are thankful for this. But in any way, I'm very thankful for your questions to partners.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
We need to go off in the reverse order.
Right.